Hey everybody, I'm GWReborn. Today I'm going to be showing you the full route to do Voltaic Spear Farm, very famous spear in Guild Wars 1, as a tank. I'm going to show you the route to get all the way to the boss running there efficiently, as well as show you how to tank for this. And keep in mind, you're able to do this with a man, 18-man, or solo with heroes. So either or a friend in you, and then you bring some heroes along. Keep in mind that the drop rate will be the same whether you have 1, 2, 3, or 8 because it is a dungeon and chest. And we are doing this in hard mode. So I'm using a Shadow Form Assassin tank. You're able to do this also on other professions utilizing Shadow Form. There could be other options or variations. If anybody has suggestions, you can let us know in the description comment section as well. But I like to use Shadow Form because it's just very tank friendly and it's easy. So I'm going to be using a perma-dash system here using Dwarven stability with dash as my speed boost. Bare minimum using a birthday cupcake pcon consumable for getting to the area. Some people would run without conset. For this run, I'm using conset. Without conset, you would have to have Deadly Paradox for your 33% assassin skill recharge rate to maintain Shadow Form. But of course, if you're really good at this, you're able to do this with only a few skills. And you're going to see this runs only take 4 to 5 minutes with a really good spawn, good pull, and efficient tank speed. There is no actual way to slash resign and get right outside of the dungeon or to rezone from portal. So once you kill the boss, you get the chest, you have to physically run back to the dungeon, which I think this is probably one of the primary reasons Voltaic Spear is so expensive, is because of the nice skin, and it is a long drive to get to the drop rate of the chest and the variation of the drop rate. I would say, I don't know the percentage, but let's just say if you do 80 runs with a team of 8, you'll probably get 1 per 60 to 80 runs. Sometimes you may get 3 or 4 in one run, or you may not get any at all. It really just depends. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking on that. Now let's talk about build, gear, and template. So I put at the end of this video explaining the gear, the build, and the template to actually show you what I'm using for armor, runes, weapon, and recommendations, and you'll see that in a couple of minutes. So we're just getting arrival. If you notice, I'm using my mission map, showing you the route to get here efficiently. It took right under 2 minutes to get to the portal zone. Now we're going to rush to the actual Slaver's Exile dungeon where we can kill the boss for the Voltaic Spear Farm location. And about half of this run, time-wise, is simply getting to the boss. The other half is balling it up, and then the last 10% is basically killing the group. And make sure you get the blessing if you want. I'm going to be running apple, corn, cupcake, egg, and then full conset. You don't have to run all these pecons, but for this run, I'm using it just because it's a little bit easier for me, and I have them available, so why not use them? So notice the team concept of this. You have to make sure you have a BIP because the BIP is going to help keep the team with more energy. I didn't really mention team formation style. This video is about the tank guide, not that. But just quick note, I recommend always bringing a Necro BIP because of the energy management is so good here. Especially if they're 1 HP, they can just spam Blood as Power. So, key factor while running to the area, you want to look for disenchantment spirits. I honestly don't even look for them because I'm just moving permadash where I'm staying at a constant speed. And whenever you get crippled, you activate IAU like that just happened there. We haven't seen any bad spawns of disenchantment this run, which means that got lucky. So if you do have a bad spawn, there's a disenchantment that just spawned there. That's where you got to go really quickly across and dodge them using permadash, Heart of Shadow off of them, or simply zigzag away, or you may die if you're really going slow. This is where you need a birthday cupcake minimum and conset for the speed boost movement, and it's easier for you to dodge. So now that I have a cupcake up and I don't have Armor of Earth or any kind of slowdown movement, I'm going to walk backwards, pull all of the enemies to this corner. All right, now everything's going to pretty much start dying in the next 30 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on how fast everything was with the pull. Sometimes there's a glitch where some of the enemies may not pull, especially the boss, but this was a really good pull, so everything's going to die within the 2-minute mark. And keep in mind that these enemies also have res skills, the monks do, so you want to have a frozen soil profession that brings that, and a monk that has heal party or some form of heal support system. And you're not really focusing on resing because frozen soil prevents the res, so that's where you make utilizing the team concept of it to get everything dead as fast as possible without having to deal with re-killing since they res. And the more damage, the better, but you need at least one strong defense, which I mentioned the BIP. Maybe the BIP can run Necro Ranger, which we had in this one where he was running some of the spirits from the ranger as well for support. So you notice how we're about finished killing all of them, but there's a couple that are all the way in the back that didn't die yet or didn't ball up properly. So these are usually the ones that delay the chest for efficiency. You have to make sure you kind of target the ones in the back and don't get distracted by the minions that are created, so the damage dealers. For tank guide, that's really it. There's nothing else to say. I could definitely say skill usage management and the proper build, gear, and the actual weapon you use is very beneficial, so I'm about to show you the breakdown on that after I open the chest. If you have any questions or constructive criticism, let me know in the comments section. Thank y'all for watching. Hit the subscribe button and like, and I hope you enjoyed the video. We're about to find out the drop rate once this last few little enemies die, and hopefully somebody get a Voltaic spear. I have done this probably over 700-800 times in my Guild Wars career and seen like 11 or 12 Voltaic spears in that drop rate. That's where I got my 70 to 80, roughly as my number based on that I discussed earlier. Every 70 to 80 runs I see one, but it really just depends on the luck. I've seen people do this one time and get a Voltaic spear. I've even seen 2 drop in 1 run, or I've seen none drop in 5 runs. So all right, so there's pretty much the pull. Once you get the chest open, you're going to want to make sure you pull everything back so everybody else can get the chest, especially the BIP. Hopefully he did an armor swap so he doesn't have 1 health for this. And here's the gear, weapon, and builds recommendation I have. I'll be sure to put everything in the description as well, but I'm using Shadow Form, Shroud, Dwarven Stability, Dash, I Am Unstoppable, Death Charge, Heart of Shadow, and Feel No Pain. I am using Alcohol for Feel No Pain, so that gives me the extra 250 to 300 health boost. As you notice, it did drop in some areas if you don't maintain the alcohol, especially after that 3-minute mark or 5, depending on what kind of alcohol you use. And here's the gear I use: Blessed Insignias times 5 plus 50 health vigor. I use the 20% for reduction of cripple and bleeding in case I do have it, a 45 enchant shield, and then I have a staff with I use Envoy because of the fact that you get 10 10 10 out of it with 20% enchantment on it. And here's the chest loot from the other party members as well. Definitely check out in the description if you want to know breakdown of everything required for this and the build template to copy and paste. And there's more than one way to do tanking. This is not the most optimal tank build bar, but I like to run permadash. You probably could have added another run skill in there between that 1 to 2 second interval where dash didn't activate to get to the dungeon, but it's only minuscule, like maybe 8 to 10 second lost time. So thank y'all for watching. Hit the like button to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that content. Check out also the playlist in the description. I'll show you a dungeon playlist so you can see other dungeons I've done, and of course Voltaic Spear Farm playlist so you know how to do it on a monk as well as on a damage roll. And I've done a ton of other videos on my channel. So there's the thumbnail right there. Thank y'all for clicking, and see you in the next one.